Children of the Fall, Episode 1. It is a warm, brilliantly sunny day. It isn't the first day after the quarantine lifted, but it might as well be. The first real day was cold, gray, and unchanging. Some people didn't even go out, and those who did so quietly without much fanfare. I watched them from my window and on the news. There was an aura of trepidation, as if they'd forgotten what freedom was like. They automatically spaced themselves out, not coming too close to one another. Don't crowd, don't sneeze, don't cough. Respect personal space. But today is different. There was a warmth in the air even from early morning. The smells of summer beckon. How could they resist? They've emerged from their homes in droves. They've filled sidewalks, parks, playgrounds, and beaches, I imagine. I'll admit that I was also called by the sun. Sunny days are hard for me. They make me long for connection, to be outside with people, in the world. And if I can't make these connections, the darkness stirs, it presses on my chest. This calling was obviously amplified by months of isolation. I messaged a few friends to see if they wanted to meet up. They all had things to do, ordinary things like laundry, grocery shopping, and visiting relatives. When they all declined with genuinely warm promises to connect soon, it was all I could do not to jump up and down and scream, "Look, today is beautiful, your goddamn laundry can wait." Of course I swallowed this absurd reaction. I even made a date with one of them for next week. Who knows what the weather will be like then. Even before, I tended to treat each beautiful day like it was the last on earth. I pack a book into a small cloth bag along with my water bottle and start out. There are several closer parks in my neighborhood, but I bypass them without even thinking. I know exactly where I want to be. I always walk with intention, even on a beautiful day. I overtake many families, holding hands, all heading in the same direction as me. When I pass them, I step off the sidewalk into the road, giving them a wide berth. It's only after doing this several times that I realize it's unnecessary. The next time I come up behind and say, "Excuse me," instead, and the parent pushing the stroller and holding the small child's hand looks startled and pulls the child away from me to safety. They recover quickly and try to act like nothing's happened, as if I hadn't just done something life-threatening. The child looks stunned. Old habits. The next person I come across is sitting on the ground with their back leaning on the wall of a shop that hasn't reopened. Their hand is outstretched as they utter a well-rehearsed, tired line. I immediately regret that I have nothing to offer them. I should have packed my wallet knowing there would be someone who needed help. But who even uses cash and coins anymore? Did we think about that, what the shift would mean for them? I could give them my water bottle, but that seems like a bad idea. I started processing all these thoughts about 6 meters ahead, so by the time I've reached them, I've already concluded that I have absolutely nothing to offer. I wonder if it's like that for most people. They've already decided, well before they reach the person, whether or not they're going to help. So there's nothing to do when I approach except lock eyes, acknowledge the ask, and make a feeble apology. The expression on their upturned face turns from faint hope to faint disappointment. They leave their arm outstretched. One of my friends who used to work in a shelter told me, "Don't ignore them. They hate that. It's very dehumanizing." I'm not so sure, but I always make eye contact now. A few steps onwards, I walk faster to shed my guilt and regret. I focus on getting to the park. Don't agonize over things you can't control. Let it go. The park is one of my favorites, although there's nothing exceptional about it. There's an upper part with a lawn and some benches that stretch perpendicular to the sidewalk and road. There are a few nice trees. People like to have picnics under these. On the side opposite the road, the park slopes down into another large green space with a playground, a dog park, a basketball court, and washrooms. Sometimes they put up a big screen on the lower plateau and show movies. People sit on the sloping hills to watch. Today there are people everywhere, of all ages. There are families gathered around the playground watching children play in the sandpit and on the swings and slides. Their play has a bit of a brainless, frenzied quality, as if they are just hurtling through the air rather than using their imaginations. Who can judge children who've been in captivity? The families have also claimed most of the picnic tables. You can bet they got there early. Young folks are sprawled all over the upper and lower lawns, in different formations. Groups of friends hanging out, chatting, playing music, smoking joints, giggling, in 3s, 5s, and 7s. There are couples laughing, cuddling, eating ice cream, making out. There are dogs running free in the enclosed dog park. Just like the children in the playground, they are in constant motion, running in circles, swirling round and around, chasing each other joyfully and mindlessly. I walk past two people sitting on a bench. One of them has a cat on a leash. It looks pissed off, but sits complacently. At least it knows it's not free. There's a dignity in that. In the sight lane of the cat is an elderly person feeding sparrows. They're breaking off pieces of bread and casting them on the ground. Some of the bolder birds are taking the bread directly from their outstretched hand. I wander around trying to find a spot that is a reasonable distance from the human groupings, especially the couples. I don't want to be too far away, just far enough to be clear that I've chosen to come here with my book for company. Surprisingly, I find a spot of grass under a tree. The grass in this park always looks nicer from a distance than it really is. It's scratchy and a bit sparse. I instantly regret not packing something to sit on, as the rough grass pokes into the backs of my bare legs. I slide my cloth bag under my butt. I position myself so that my face is in shadow, but my legs are in the sun. The warmth feels good. I try to read, but I'm not registering the words. I can't ignore the hum of human activity that buzzes all around me. I look up. My eyes don't focus on individuals or groups. They're appearing to me as colors and noise, a landscape of surging life, pulsing, wheeling, interacting with itself in a fragile, rhythmic dance. I try to refocus my eyes, to pull the scene apart, disaggregate back to the families, friends, lovers, dogs, birds, and cat. I cast my eyes back to the page, but the feeling welling up in my chest is strong, dark, and irrepressible. Poor fools. Truth be told, I envy them their togetherness, their carefree abandon, their youth, their obliviousness. They have emerged as if unscathed. I feel a sharp pang of contempt that quickly transforms into pity and concern. They don't know, or they're pretending not to. The world is ending, or quite possibly it's beginning. You'll find with time that I'm actually an optimist. But if it's beginning, it's not being born anew like a sunny day in a park after months of lockdown. Let's be real, it's not that simple.